This week on ANN, an Adventist pastor in Ukraine is released from a 20-day detention.
Executive Committee members suggest revisions to the Adventist Church Manual to include additional details on discipline.
And church leaders approve a new administrative unit in an area of growing membership in Central America.
These stories and more coming up.
This is ANN, a service of the Seventh-day Adventist World Church. Thanks so much for joining us this week.
First in the news, Pastor Sergei Litovchenko of the Horlivka Seventh-day Adventist Church in eastern Ukraine was released last week and reunited with his family after being detained for 20 days. Litovchenko was detained September 27 when a church service was interrupted and worshipers were directed to disperse. Local church and family members would like to thank Adventists and others who prayed for his freedom throughout the ordeal. Dwayne Leslie has more on the outcome.
We're very happy to know that Pastor Litovchenko is in good health. We must continue to work and pray for the safety and security of our clergy and for believers who are in any area of conflict around the world.
During the 2014 annual council last week, the church's executive committee agreed to amend some chapters of the church manual, a document created 82 years ago to provide local churches with guidelines on how to operate in relation to denominational structure. Some of the changes include adding new details to further specify the reasons that members can face discipline. The section that deals with extramarital relationships was expanded to include details on specific definitions relating to sexual conduct. Additional revisions to the church manual were minor edits. The changes will be sent for a vote at the 2015 General Conference session.
Executive Committee members also voted during annual council to reorganize a church's administrative unit in Central America. The unit will be comprised of two sections, which underscores the church's membership growth in the region. The church's South Central American Union Conference will become two unions, the Panama Union Mission and the South Central American Union Mission. The two unions will oversee administrative operations of the church in Panama, Costa Rica, and Nicaragua. The area is home to a combined membership of 295,000. The reorganization will become effective on January 1.
Church leaders have designated Saturday, October 25 as Creation Sabbath. This is a time for members around the world to acknowledge God as Creator and the implications of this biblical teaching. If you, your family, or local church haven't seen the film, The Creation, The Earth is a Witness, Creation Sabbath would be a perfect time to check it out. So far, the English version has received more than 100,000 plays on Vimeo, with more than 11,000 downloads. The film is also available in more than a dozen languages at daretobelieve.com. If you want more information and resources to help commemorate Creation Sabbath, visit creationsabbath.net.
And I don't know about you, Erica, but that soundtrack for the Creation film is just so stirring. I personally could watch that film every Friday night.
I agree.
The church's media center in Germany recently celebrated a milestone for ministry that offers resources for the disabled within Europe and beyond. Stimmter Hoffnung's Library for the Blind celebrated 50 years of working for the blind and hearing impaired. The library provides numerous audio materials to more than 2,400 listeners in Germany, Austria, Switzerland, and other countries. From its beginning in 1964, the ministry has promoted Christian themes in its content, which has been highly appreciated even among listeners who don't belong to the church.
3 Adventist health experts were recently awarded the denomination's Health Ministries Medal of Distinction for their ongoing research and promotion of healthy relationships to prevent at-risk behaviors. Andrews University professors Dr. Gary Hopkins and Dwayne McBride were presented the award during a meeting of the Institute of Prevention of Addictions Board at the denomination's world headquarters. Child psychologist Kitty Fryer-Randall was unable to attend and will receive her award later this year.
Doctors Gary Hopkins, Dwayne McBride, and Kitty Fryer-Randall have done wonderful research on relationships and connectedness of young people with people of significance in their lives. Parents, teachers, preachers, and individuals who care about those young people. What they've shown is that gives resilience to the young people. Resilience allows young people to be able to cope under difficult circumstances and protects them from the problems of addictions, of premature sexual experimentation, the use of alcohol and other drugs as well. So we're looking at a tremendous amount of credibility they brought to the work of prevention through their research.
Several government and health officials last week presented an Adventist university in Argentina a unique award on behalf of the nation. The Universidad Adventista del Plata, or River Plate University, became the nation's first health university based on its sustained efforts to promote healthy lifestyles in the university and its surrounding community. The national award is the first of its kind. The university was also recognized for its focus on healthy behavior, including physical activity, nutrition, and abstinence from harmful substances.
For us, it is a big responsibility from the National Department of Health because this university became the first healthy university. This sets a high bar in our evaluation process because what this university achieved is a lot. In fact, it exceeded all our requests to get the certification. Now we have a hard journey ahead because we would love to have more healthy universities in other cities and states of this country, which is a huge challenge.
It's a big responsibility because this creates an environment that we want to keep going. On the other hand, it's a natural responsibility because this is an intrinsic part of us. This is our DNA. It is part of the Adventist University's genes. It's about making visible what we believe for more than 100 years. And we face this, like other challenges, with a positive spirit, and we hope in the future to be able to maintain this.
Adventist communication professionals and students recently reaffirmed their call to serve as they celebrated 25 years of professional development. The attendees of the Society of Adventist Communicators met in the U.S. state of Florida last week for training, networking, and spiritual renewal. Among the activities for the three-day event, a Lifetime Achievement Award was given to Jerry Chudley, the communication director for the church in the Pacific region of the United States. Dan Weber shares what the future has in store for the church's communicators.
The Society of Adventist Communicators is a growing organization. What started 25 years ago is a small group of communicators in the Southern Union, the southern part of the United States, has now grown to international. We have a chapter in the Inter-American Division, or in Central America and the Caribbean, and we've been contacted about creating one in Europe. And at our last convention, we had people from Africa and Europe and Central America and the Caribbean and all over the United States. So we're excited about the future of SAC. But for me, the most important thing is that we can maintain relationships with the young people that are coming out of school, hopefully provide mentoring opportunities for them and opportunities for employment at some point, and training. And of course, the networking possibilities that come out of SAC. It's a wonderful event. We're excited about it every year, and we look forward to it growing and getting bigger and stronger.
Coming up, humanitarians provide food to residents affected by the Ebola virus epidemic in Liberia.
Many people came and told Jehoshaphat that a vast army was approaching to wage war against him. Alarmed by this news, Jehoshaphat proclaimed a fast for all of Judah. People came from every town in Judah to fast and pray together. We were part of a large group, and Jehoshaphat was earnestly asking God for assistance. Then a man called Jahaziel stood up and said that Jehoshaphat should not be concerned, that it was not his battle, but God's battle.
It was early in the morning when we set out in the desert of Tekoa. We were seriously concerned about facing this huge army, but we were told to have faith. We had also prayed. When our reconnaissance platoon came over the hill, we only saw dead bodies all around. The enemy had apparently turned on each other. Jehoshaphat's prayers had won the battle, without even having to fight.
Welcome back. And now for more news from our global church community.
In addition to sending medical supplies to Liberia, humanitarians are meeting the needs of community members affected by the region's growing Ebola crisis. Employees of the Adventist Development and Relief Agency in Liberia have distributed food to more than 130,000 people who are living in quarantine centers and treatment facilities.
On a positive note, the World Health Organization has declared the nation of Nigeria to be Ebola-free due to an absence of new cases in the country for more than 42 days. Nigeria is Africa's most populous country. While we celebrate this declaration, we also continue to pray for the thousands of people who are still affected by the virus. To learn more, visit adventist.org/unitedinprayer.
We'll take every bit of positive news about Ebola that we can possibly get.
Absolutely.
Latin America is becoming a growing supplier of international volunteers to the Seventh-day Adventist World Church. Church leaders say the steady growth in numbers from the church in South America is the result of deliberate management and promotion of the church's volunteer programs. Last year, the region sent 136 volunteers, or 12% of the denomination's volunteers. Church leaders say the renewed focus on the program in recent years is giving more young members in Latin America an opportunity to offer their talents for service, gain cross-cultural awareness, and help clarify their own future plans.
Several people dedicated their lives to God earlier this month in Dublin, Ireland, through the church's most ambitious outreach campaign in the region to date. More than 500 people attended the 3-week evangelistic series, which was the climax of the Dublin City of Hope campaign. Many of the campaign's seminars were conducted by the renowned Adventist evangelist Mark Finley, including Ancient Discoveries seminars, a presentation on biblical prophecy, and the Earth's future. 38 people were baptized during the final 2 Sabbaths of the campaign.
The successful evangelistic campaign in the South Pacific island of Vanuatu has already led some of the church's 2,000 newest members to live a different lifestyle. Record in Focus sent the following report on a recent mass wedding of 134 couples.
Many of the couples had already been living together before making their new commitment to Jesus, and they wanted to make their relationships right before God. 13 Adventist churches in the town of Efate helped to organise and host the weddings in an expression of support for the couples, many who would not have been able to afford to get married otherwise.
In an effort to raise awareness of personal hygiene, ADRA employees held a march in the Eastern Democratic Republic of Congo to help mark last week's Global Hand Washing Day. Although the region is currently experiencing conflict, local authorities attended the educational demonstration and shared their support of the agency's health initiative.
Seventh-day Adventist church leaders will join other supporters of religious liberty to mark Monday, October 27, as International Religious Liberty Freedom Day. The 27th is the day the U.S. Congress passed the International Religious Freedom Act in 1998. The Adventist Church has stood for religious freedom since its founding and continues to promote freedom of conscience, which is outlined in the United Nations Universal Declaration of Human Rights. Church leaders say members can honor the day by praying for those who are persecuted around the world because of their faith. To learn more, visit irla.org.
And finally in the news this week, a man in Botswana was so impressed with Hope Channel that he decided to find a creative way to incorporate the network's programs into his bus company. Sid Media sent this report.
In Botswana, one of the unions in the Southern Africa Indian Ocean Division, viewers are not only watching Hope Channel from the comfort of their homes, but have taken a step further to even watch it whenever they are traveling. Thank you to Mahube Bus Company, who have a passion for evangelism, saying they are only God's messengers.
Now, since you are here as well and that I have Hope Channel behind our buses, I would say I'm also a messenger. You know, the world is sick, we want to assist, we want to see ourselves being positive, being assistive. We wanted to see people having some kind of a religious alignment. So when we say we are messengers, we go to many places, we go to different corners of the world.
The business owners of Mahube Bus Company, a non-Adventist family, are working hand in glove with the Adventist Church in Botswana to promote Hope Channel to families. They've not only branded their buses to promote Hope Channel, but also play television programs from Seed Media, an institute of the Southern Africa Indian Ocean Division, producing Christian programs for Hope Channel International.
A religion is a religion for everyone. You know, all we want to do, or I would say all you want to do, is to see people understanding and knowing where they come from. The bottom line is we all have one supreme being, God. So if all of us can be able to understand and to know that God is there for us on every day, it's the bottom line, it's the message that we want to send across to people.
A brainchild of Sister Kaiso and Pastor Paco from the Botswana Union Conference, Hope Channel is now available in Mahube buses, plying all the routes in Southern Africa, covering more than 5 countries.
Hope Channel is going to enjoy a lot what Mahube Express has got to offer. We travel to Cape Town, Durban, Namibia, Zimbabwe. You can guess, we've been as far as Malawi, Blantyre. Therefore, Hope Channel is going to be very, very well received by different nations.
With so many buses giving travelers a wide variety of choices, it is not a secret that most travelers prefer Mahube Bus Company because of their track record and also their hospitality, giving the travelers the joy of watching inspirational programs throughout their journey, courtesy of Hope Channel.
We are very happy to be associated with Hope Channel, and as a bus conductor for Mahube buses, it's our pleasure to expose people to God, and we see the joy in their eyes when they travel.
Still ahead, learn how to effectively use Facebook for your ministry.
But up next, find out what's in the current issue of Ministry Magazine.
I don't know if you're like me, but I've been picked on, I've been ridiculed, I've been made to feel like I was less than what I am. But when I view God as an artist, it makes me feel better about who He's created me to be. Now, the value of an artist's masterpiece is appraised in 3 different ways. 1, the time that the artist takes in order to create that masterpiece. In other words, if an artist takes 3 months to create something, it's worth more than if it took 3 days to create something else. Also, if the artist has any duplicates or copies of that particular piece of work. And if the reputation of the artist is great, then whatever that artist creates is also great. Now, what's beautiful about this is that God took His time to create man. The Bible tells us that He spoke everything else into existence, but He formed man of the dust of the ground. Also, there are no duplicates of you. You are the only one of you that God has made. And God has an amazing reputation. Now, this is wonderful because that means that the value of a masterpiece is not based on the condition that it's found in. It's based on the reputation of the artist. That means that if a masterpiece is found tattered or even torn, it still has value because of the artist who created it. And even if other people don't appraise it as being highly valuable, it will still mean the world to the artist. You still mean the world to God. You are God's masterpiece.
Welcome back. Derek Morse sent a preview of the latest edition of Ministry Magazine.
You've probably heard the blessing that Aaron was given to bless the children of Israel. The Lord bless you and keep you. The Lord make His face to shine upon you and be gracious to you. The Lord lift up His countenance upon you and give you peace. But there's another blessing that the Apostle Paul writes to Christians in Corinth. And that's the focus of the lead article of Ministry Magazine for November. Reading at the end of the 2 Corinthian letter, may the grace of the Lord Jesus Christ and the love of God and the fellowship of the Holy Spirit be with you all. Dr. Marguerite Schuster focuses on this blessing in the lead article of the November issue of Ministry. And I was blessed when I read the insights that she shared. I want to invite you to go to our website, ministrymagazine.org, and reflect on the impact of the blessing, not only for the Corinthian believers, but also for your life today. Again, you can go to our website, ministrymagazine.org, check out the lead article for the November issue. And by the way, while you're there are many other wonderful resources that can not only bless your life as a follower of Jesus, but if you read them and internalize them, it can be a blessing to those around you.
Keeping up with Facebook's many updates can be difficult. For this month's social media report, Angela Type shares tips on navigating and mastering your church's Facebook page.
Whether you use social media for your church, ministry, group, or just your own personal use, you've probably realized how difficult it can be to stand out from the crowd.
Video is one of the most engaging and immersive ways to show the ongoing story of your organization. Whether sharing events, highlighting volunteers, or inspiring your members, it's a remarkable way to let people be a part of what matters to you. When you upload a video directly to Facebook, there are several new features that will help your video be more effective. Autoplay is a relatively new feature to most Facebook users. When autoplay is enabled, your Facebook viewers will see videos come to life as they scroll through their timeline, not just when they click. To take full advantage of this feature, the key is the first few seconds of your video, which must catch people's attention visually, as your video will autoplay without sound. Keep this in mind as you edit videos to share online. Another new tool that will help you convert video views to website visits is the call to action button. When you've selected a video file, before posting it, you will see in the lower left corner an option to add a call to action. You can then select a button to appear at the end of your video to encourage viewers to shop now, book now, learn more, sign up, download, or watch more. Once you've chosen the call to action, most appropriate to the follow-up website, you can add the link to the website. The more you can use these new resources, the more effectively you can encourage your followers on their spiritual journey.
God works in mysterious ways to get His children's attention. Here's a preview of an upcoming short film of a powerful conversion story.
One night, I'd partied it up so much I had totally loaded. It was like there were the crossroads of eternity, and I knew that night what it really meant. This way led to everlasting life, and this way led to eternal damnation. Jim, tonight's your last night to decide. God, I'm sorry it took so long.
For this month's book report from Signs of the Times, Pastor Alex Bryan discussed a collection of essays compiled into a book entitled For the One. The book examines Jesus through the lenses of theology and history.
Hello, my name is Alex Bryan. I'm the senior pastor of the Walla Walla University Church in College Place, Washington. And I want to tell you about a project I've been involved in. I'm just excited about it. I was able to co-edit this book, For the One, with my friends and colleagues Nathan Brown and Japhet de Oliveira. It's a book all about Jesus. The authors, who have written a variety of essays, are from both genders, a variety of ethnic backgrounds, multiple generations, but the theme is central: Jesus Christ. The first third of the book deals with Jesus in Seventh-day Adventist history. It then turns to Jesus in our theology, and finally, Jesus in our practical everyday experience. Real issues like surviving cancer, forgiving someone who's difficult to forgive, how to strengthen our families and communities, how to live with vibrancy in our local congregations. These essays will challenge and empower you. But I think what I love is that while each of them stands alone with strength, the beauty comes together when all of these essays are heard as one choir, as a single chorus, celebrating Jesus. I hope you'll pick up the book.
Now let's turn to David Trim for a look at Adventist history. This week, get a look into the great disappointment through the eyes of Hiram Edson.
This week in Adventist history is, of course, the week of the Great Disappointment on October 22, 1844. One of the many who experienced it was Hiram Edson. He recalled, "We looked for our coming Lord until the clock tolled 12 at midnight. The day had then passed, and our disappointment became a certainty. Our fondest hopes and expectations were blasted." Yet Edson did not abandon faith. Instead, he searched the scriptures in an effort to establish where the Millerites had been wrong, and this led him, in association with another of the disappointed, Owen Crozier, to discover and to expound what became the distinctively Seventh-day Adventist doctrine of the sanctuary. Also this week, on October 23 in 1925, G.F. Jones, a Welsh sea captain who had emigrated to Australia, sailed with his wife from Sydney, Australia, to Noumea as the first Adventist missionaries to New Caledonia. Jones and his wife served as missionaries all around the South Pacific and Southeast Asia. They are today forgotten heroes of Adventist mission. And October 25, 1885, saw the beginning of the first evangelistic campaign in Australia when John O. Corliss held the first of a series of meetings in a large rented tent in Fitzroy, a northern suburb of the city of Melbourne. Corliss preached every night for nearly 3 months and thus effectively established the Adventist Church in the Australian state of Victoria. That was this week in Adventist history.
Thanks for watching ANN. Join us next week for more news from the headquarters of the Seventh-day Adventist Church.
In the meantime, join our global conversation on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. You can connect with other Adventists around the world and find links to more stories, photos, and videos. Visit Facebook/Adventist News, Twitter/Adventist Church, and Instagram @Adventist Church.
Our good news for this week comes from Psalms chapter 18, verse 30. The passage says, "God's way is perfect. All the Lord's promises prove true. He is a shield for all who look to Him for protection."
Before we go, we'd like to take a moment to acknowledge ANN's video editor, Brandon Roberts. This is Brandon's last episode editing ANN. Brandon, although we're sad to see you go, we congratulate you on your new position, and we pray for God to continue to bless you throughout your life. Thank you.
That's our program for this week, and remember, you can always visit news.adventist.org for daily news and videos. Until next time, God bless.
Take care.